Today's topic, snakes on a plane. I have a theory that I think I'm the only person in America who actually understood this movie, because all of the reviews were like, oh my god, Snakes on a Plane is totally garbage, Samuel L. Jackson is just doing this movie because he has, you know, house payments or whatever. And everyone thought that it was total shit. But and granted, I saw it drunk, so take it with a grain of salt. But my personal theory is, I feel like no one actually got what it was trying to do. And I also feel the same way about Van Helsing, which was amazing. We'll get to that in a second. But the thing about Snakes on a Plane that you have to understand is, like, if you look at it piece by piece, it's like, it's not trying to be a serious action movie like Die Hard or Indiana Jones or something. Like, it is a note-for-note perfect spoof of the kind of movie that you think that it is. So, like every single thing that happens, you're like, ah, yes, that is what society dictates should happen at this moment in the movie. But it's totally satire. So, like, as soon as you see, like, big name guest star Juliana Margulies coming in dressed as a flight attendant, you're like, okay, so something's gonna happen to the captain and she's gonna have to fly the plane, and that's exactly what happens. And then as soon as, like, the young hot couple goes into the bathroom to hook up, you're like, oh, something bad's gonna happen to them. So, like, you can totally map out, like, this convention, this convention, this convention, like, check, 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 check. But it's so over the top that I feel like it's obviously satire. Like if you look at, like, okay, so how the snakes get on the plane. Spoiler if you haven't seen the movie. So some guy witnesses a mob hit, and the mob is after him, and so he and, like, a state trooper, like, he's like a key witness, and the state trooper is, like, taking him on this plane somewhere to, like, for trial. But instead of just, like, shooting the guy in the head like a regular mobster, this crazy mobster decides the best way to kill him is in the air. And so he puts crates and crates and crates of, like, comatose snakes behind boxes of time-release pheromones, like you do, in the cargo hold of this plane. And then at a certain predetermined moment, when the plane is in the air, then it will release, and the snakes will, like, bust out of their boxes. And it's, like, every different kind of snake imaginable, including some that I'm pretty sure are fictional. Like, I think somebody would notice if you tried to send an anaconda through baggage claim, but no one in this movie did. So then, like, the clock strikes midnight or whatever, and then all the snakes need to come to life and bust their way out of the boxes. And then from there, it's like everything, like, it is both surprising and predictable simultaneously. So, like, at a certain point, there's going to be a camera angle where a snake, like, comes at your face, and it happens, like, 6 or 8 times, exactly when you would predict it, but it's still awesome and scary. And then every single other thing that happens, how the whole rest of the movie unfolds, is clearly, like, it's like a spoof of a bad B movie. So, like the pilot gets attacked by a snake, and so Juliana Margulies has to, like, fly the plane, and it's like, is the plane gonna crash? Is it gonna happen? And then there's, like, a little kids. There's, like, 2 little kids, but like, okay, the kids are gonna be vaguely imperiled, but they're not gonna die because it's not that kind of a movie. But then there was, like, a big mean guy who was mean to the cute little dog, and you're like, okay, he's gonna get, like, comical revenge for being mean to the small animal, but the small animal might also die. So, like, anyway, so you can map all of these things out. And it's extremely enjoyable if you're at the Kennedy Center and you're watching it drunk, Kennedy School, because it's like, okay, what's the next, like, bad action horror movie cliche that we're going to see happen here? And so it's really satisfying, like, watching them all unfold. Like, they did an excellent job of sort of hitting all of the major points, so they know what you're going to the movie to see, and then they're just delivering it to you up to, like, the climactic moment of Samuel L. Jackson's Oscar-worthy line about, get the motherfucking snakes off the motherfucking plane. Like, it is just, it's so enjoyable, because, like, okay, here's all of these things happening. So I think it's an extremely well executed piece of cinematic satire that everyone misunderstood and thought was this totally garbage movie. And it makes me really sad, because they're missing out on something totally glorious. In addition to which, like, another movie that I also feel like I'm the only person in America who got it, because I saw it, like, 6 times because it was amazing, was Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman, which looked terrible. And it was terrible if you went to go see it thinking that it was going to be like Bram Stoker's Dracula or something like that. But instead, it's also, like, a totally ridiculous frame-by-frame spoof of the kind of movie that you think it is. And so if you're totally humorless, and you go in and you're like, this movie's cheesy and ridiculous. Why does Van Helsing the vampire hunter have, like, a semi-automatic arrow gun? Well, okay, yes, if you look at it that way, it does seem stupid. But it's totally, like, it's silly on purpose, and it's giving you all of those things one at a time. So if you're going expecting it to be, dark and somber and vampire-y, then you'll be like, this movie is for shit. Why did Hugh Jackman make this movie? But if you go in being like, another vampire stereotype, you know, ridiculous thing, and then like they're checking off all of the satire points, then it is flawlessly executed and highly enjoyable, and you're missing out on a ton of fun if you go in wanting to be like all literal. So that's film criticism with Claire Willett. 2 movies you should see: Snakes on a Plane, Van Helsing. Watch them drunk, you'll not regret it. And scene.